there, everyone. Welcome to Blue Jackets. It's the Fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Hefty Duck. And as always, we always invite people to come on the show, so we may or may not get someone else that comes on during the show. You know, it could be Harry, it could be Ian, it could be Hartsey, it could be Wyan. You never know. That's just the fun of it. You just never know. But if they don't come, there's always next time. But anyways, a lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world to talk about. The Blue Jackets should have played 4 games since our last show, but they only played 3 because that first one against the Kings got canceled because Columbus, like many places in America right now, are really, really, really cold out. And so that's why it got canceled, because it's really cold out and not very safe. So we'll still talk about that, you know, because that game did get moved to a different day, and we'll share when that game got moved. So we're not going to completely ignore that game. But then we will talk about the 3 games that the Blue Jackets did play since our last show, in which the Blue Jackets get 3 big wins. The Blue Jackets beat the Philadelphia Flyers 5-3. The Blue Jackets beat the Blackhawks by a score of 4-2. And the Blue Jackets beat the St. Louis Blues by a score of 5-3. A lot of good moments in those games, and we're going to talk about it. Just awesome. Charlie Coyle gets a hat trick against the Blackhawks, and it was awesome. It was awesome. One of the best moments all season long for the Blue Jackets. It's just that good. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some outdoor hockey games that have been played. You know, of course, Penn State and Michigan State played one at Penn State, and 2 Blue Jackets prospects, Jackson Smith and Caden Lindstrom, played in that. And that was cool. And we're going to talk about that. And, you know, I have some thoughts on what happened with the outdoor hockey game down in Florida between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins. So we got that, you know, some stuff about Ohio State and so much more. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Oh yeah, welcome everyone. Hope you all have had a warm week. I know here in Ohio it sucked so bad this last week. Like, holy shit. And it's so cold. It's been so cold, like, so consecutively that it keeps snowing and the snow is not melting, and it keeps building up until I have like 5 feet of snow out here on a snowdrift. It's ridiculous. But hope everyone's been staying warm and safe. You know, actually, I was down in Columbus yesterday, and the roads seem pretty decent right now. I know it started snowing when I was on my way home, but yeah. Anyway, so speaking of that, snow kind of ruined that one game. Do you just want to talk about that real quick? Because there was something kind of funny that happened. That's not like major news or anything.
But first, before we get going here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Do it.
And one last thing. I got to go get something. I'll be right back.
I'll entertain the crowd for a second. If y'all haven't eaten at Mikey's Late Night Slice yet, what are you waiting for? Go get some pizza.
Yeah.
It's amazing. If you have food allergies, it's even more amazing. Yeah, it's a great time. Go there. Okay. No sponsor.
Right. Okay, so one last thing before we get going here. Don't forget to check out Union Blue Soldiers. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets fan group that I run. We do a lot of fun stuff like marches to, we bring Blue Jackets fans together and do marches to Nationwide Arena to cheer on the Blue Jackets. And we've been on TV and at Blue Jackets games and so much more. A lot of, other fun social events we've done as well. We do a lot of fun stuff. So, one last time, don't forget, check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. All right, then. So we'll get going here. So
we can talk about that as well. Do you want to talk about the outdoor game that just happened real quick?
yes. So
It's not like Blue Jackets news, but there's some funny shit, and I have to bitch about something so hard here in a little bit. So you can start if you'd like.
Two of them. So we're gonna get going here. So first things first, there were two Blue Jackets prospects that played in an outdoor hockey game. Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith, who plays for Penn State, and Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom, who plays for Michigan State, both played in an outdoor hockey game at Penn State, and man, it was really cool. It makes me wish, like, come on now, Ohio State, why can't you have that? Like, come on.
The one they had up in Cleveland was cool, but like it was in Cleveland. You're Ohio State.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
People cool they did it at all.
People that what you just said there, I agree with Hefty Duck. And when I pointed this out, they're like, but they had one in Cleveland. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but that's not what I'm getting at. I'm talking about you have Ohio State. You do what other schools have done is you host an outdoor hockey game at your own football facility like other schools do. Or, do what the Blue Jackets did, which is have an outdoor hockey game at Ohio State. Come on now. Like, I want that. It's time to get with the program here. And just being a football-only school, in my opinion, is not acceptable anymore. Because you see other schools, Michigan, Penn State, whatever, where they're putting effort in multiple sports, and it's not just a football thing anymore. So, come on, Ohio State, let's go. Let's have an outdoor hockey game at the Shoe, just for you. Not the Blue Jackets, because they already did that, but let's have one for you. So I'm going to put this up on the screen here. So look at this is a video from I have multiple things to share for this, but first off, look at this video here. This is from the outdoor game at Penn State. And just look how cool this is. Penn State got over 74,000 people to show up to this. That's for a college game. A college game, a college hockey game outside got over 74,000 people here. It's not even a pro game. It's not like what the Blue Jackets did, where they had over 94,000 people for their outdoor game. This is a college game that got over 74,000 people to show up. Ridiculously good. Like, goddamn, I am jealous. I wish Ohio State could do stuff like this. I wish. They don't, but I wish. But look at this. Look at this. Look, this is a great environment. Look at this. This place is packed. It's packed. Look at this. And so both Blue Jackets prospects, Caden Lindstrom and Jackson Smith, they got to play in this. Just awesome. This is just really cool.
That's pretty sick. That's so many people.
Wow. So, wait. We're not done yet. There's more. There is more. So, here we have a video which features Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith, who wears number 7, and they're going out on the ice. Like, look at this. This is cool. And the jerseys are awesome. It's a blue jersey and then white shoulders and then white numbers. And then I like the striping pattern they have on it. It's just awesome.
Cool.
And it says Penn State on the front and numbers, and then it's got like a Nittany line on the front too. It's just awesome. And then there's Jackson Smith right there, number 7, as he's walking out onto the ice.
You said it was 70-some thousand people? Like
it was over 74,000.
Yeah. So just to put that in perspective, the Winter Classic that was in Miami, 36,153. The Stadium Series that was just in Tampa, we'll talk about that a tiny bit, 65,000.
Yeah.
Columbus had the second most attendance for an outdoor game with 94,751. That's going to be hard to beat. But even the 2024 Devils Flyers game had 70,000. So this had more than that. And the Rangers Islanders game had 79,000. And those are two, big fan bases for those teams. So pretty freaking cool. They had that many people there for a college hockey game.
Yes.
Fucking sick. Love it.
It's just like, whoa. So
Buccigross proud over here, probably.
Yes. He's definitely making them proud. And then, oh wait, there's more, because we have actual pictures from that game of Jackson Smith and Caden Lindstrom in action, and it's really really cool. But before we get there, more pictures. So look at that. That's a great picture of what it was like that day. That is just a great picture.
That looks like a really nice venue for an outdoor game too. I mean,
yeah.
It's in some ways it's a shame that you can't get closer to the ice. At the same time, you wouldn't be able to fit all those people in an arena if it was that close together. Having the field spread out gives you way more room for stands around the whole building.
And
I bet that was actually cold.
Yes.
Florida people cracked me up. I used to live there. I know. I get it. It's a relative.
But we'll get that later. But I'll just say where it's like they're complaining of the outdoor hockey game down in Tampa Bay, Florida yesterday. And they're like, oh, it's cold. It's in the 30s. And I'm like, oh, dudes, just stop. Just stop. We're not doing this. Okay, you need to stop. You want to know what's cold? The Blue Jackets outdoor game, which was really cold that day. That was cold.
Pretty fortunate that they had that cold spell in Florida, though. That probably really helped out. To keep the ice normal. There was I didn't hear any drama about the ice. I was expecting there to be something little, because even in Cleveland they had drama with the ice at one point a little bit. They had to wait till the sun went down to continue the game.
So no. So that was the thing.
Pretty cool.
So overall, pretty cool. So here we got a better shot of the jerseys, and Jackson Smith, there he is, number 7, Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith. So there he is right there. This is, and the jerseys right there. So these are pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Jackson.
Looks very classic, especially with the brown pads.
Yep.
Good choice.
Yeah, good choice. So we have this. So let's see here. Yeah, so it's awesome. So let's see here. I'm gonna keep going here because I got a lot of stuff in my bookmarks. I saved a lot of stuff for the show. Usually don't do that much, but I did. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So here we have. There's Jackson Smith. There he is practicing the day before the game outside at that Penn State had for the outdoor hockey game. So like that was cool.
It's looking slick.
He is. You know what? Let's see here. Nope, that's not Jackson Smith. That's Jackson Smith right there. And then the little team
That's a
pic.
cool photo.
Yeah, team picture. And again, number 7 is Jackson Smith. So,
I mean, I know it's college, so you probably have to have that third goalie.
yeah.
That's interesting.
7. Let's see. So
Cool.
pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. I guess you can say a lot of Penn State stuff because of that. But look, this is a promotional video that Penn State did, and it's Jackson Smith, and he's playing football on the ice.
I feel like he would be a quarterback too.
There he is. Oh, he's gonna throw the ball.
Dude.
Oh, he got it. He got it. Kind of stumbled there, but he got it.
It looked like he launched that thing.
Oh, he did. Look, check it out. Check it out.
I wouldn't be surprised at the crossover between football and hockey players.
Look at that. He just chucked it
Tried
up.
with one hand. I've seen some video online one time of like people playing football on ice, but they weren't using skates. So it was like they were just kind of like taking little small steps. On skates would be pretty sick. Maybe if it was like handball on ice.
Yeah.
Like that would be extremely dangerous.
Yeah. So.
I mean, hockey is extremely dangerous, but like, yeah, whatever. We can talk about that another time.
There's that. A couple more stuff here, and then we'll get on to the other. Here, let's see. No. Oh, there we go. There's another picture. There's Jackson Smith right there. So that's cool. So that is cool.
That's pretty cool. Kind of like how they don't have their last names in the back.
Well, it's a tribute to the football team because the football team doesn't have numbers on the back.
Gotcha.
So I thought that was a cool little touch there, that a tribute to the football team there. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Well, you know what? That's it for now. We can talk about.
I have.
We can move on. We can talk more Penn State stuff later, or Jackson Smith and Kate Lundstrom. But in Michigan State. But for now. So and then the next outdoor game was this past Sunday, down in Florida. The Bruins playing Boston Bruins playing the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa, Florida, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play. And I watched that game because, you know why? Because I'm like, an outdoor hockey game in Florida. I'm like, how the heck is that going to go? Yeah. I just wondered about that. And I watched and like, man, this is cool to see an outdoor hockey game down in Florida on TV. And it's actually working. Like this
worked well.
It did. And I like the color rush matchup because you had the Lightning wearing blue and the Bruins were wearing yellow. So that was cool. Yeah. I like that. And, it was just a fun game overall. Lightning won at 6-5. Goalie fight and a whole bunch of other shenanigans. They really kind of leaned into with the whole pirate theme because, because they were at the Buccaneers Stadium, so I get it. Much like how a lot of the theme with the Blue Jackets had some Ohio State stuff because they were at Ohio State.
Yeah.
They were at Ohio State, so I get it. I get why they the Lightning did the whole pirate thing because they were at the Buccaneer Stadium. So I get it. So that was cool. So just a lot of fun stuff.
Their can was so tiny.
Oh God, what a joke that was. The
I
thing
mean, it
is,
was like a can that would be on deck of a ship or something. So like it makes sense.
it
It's
makes
like,
sense, but come on now. We had people had this criticism, and I agree with it, which is when the Buccaneers score a touchdown, they got this big ship, and there's like these cannons that come out of the ship, and they shoot off those cannons. And people are like, well, can they do that for the Lightning when they score a goal? But they didn't do it. And then people are like, oh my goodness, what's that nonsense? Come on.
It's a great opportunity for something fun.
Yes. And you get this like little rinky dink can. Like, no. Like, come on now. Hey, the Blue Jackets did it right for their outdoor game. They brought their actual cannon and had it fire off every time they score a goal. They did it right. But that's besides the point. But, overall, pretty good game there. And it's just so cool and fun to see an outdoor hockey game down in Florida.
Yeah. I have a little bit of commentary on this myself. So I really enjoyed the outdoor game overall. I thought it was neat. When I first heard hockey in Florida, I'm like, there's no like outdoor hockey tradition in Florida. Well, when you really stop and think about it, like roller hockey's still hockey. It's not the same. I get it, but like you can do that all year round down there. And also now that there's been a couple of Stanley Cups won down that way. What do you expect? But I want to talk about one specific thing, and it was something that happened between the periods. So they did one of those like make the puck through the hole in the goal for money things. But it was a man who doesn't play hockey, as far as I'm aware, and it was for charity, right? Okay, so originally he comes out and they give him a Baker Mayfield's out there, which is kind of like slapping the face for Browns fans.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's out there. They give him this guy, the guy who's about to shoot the shot, a check for $100,000 for his charity. Then they announce, "Hey, if you make this shot, we'll double it, $200,000." And I'm sorry, I start thinking like, well, why don't you do that anyway? Okay. So then, the guy misses it, like wide by like 3 feet. Because he's not a hockey player. That's like, and then they go, "Hey, we'll turn that $200,000 into $1 million." Okay, if he makes a shot. So for charity, I understand if it was like a prize for the guy, like to take home. Okay, but you're telling me that for charity, you didn't come out with a comically large-sized goal to just let him shoot a puck into? You're telling me he actually like had to try for that, like but, like what? Excuse me? And then they're like, "Well, how about we give you the $200,000 anyway," or some shit like that. And so like they crossed it out and put $200,000 in the big novelty check, and I still just had this feeling of like, why don't you just give him the $1 million? What are you doing? You teasing people like that? Like I just felt like that was kind of like tone deaf or whatever, or just like a weird way to like when celebrities are playing to like win money for their favorite charities, like on Jeopardy or something like that, like they guarantee them at like $10,000 minimum for their charities, and then but like that's still a competition between 3 individuals that they're trying to win for their charities, whatever, and they're still guaranteed some money for that. So this was a random. I don't know. I saw someone say that they should have gotten a massive goal that goes the whole way across the ice and had like a bunch of cancer survivors come out and shoot the shots in them and just give them the $1 million. I agree with that. I feel like, hey, like dangle it in front of someone, like here's your charity money, psych, fuck you, and they like, yeah, donation of $200,000 is nothing to sneeze at or anything, but like for real, that was awkward to me, very awkward, just weird. Anyway, that's my rant about the outdoor game. Other than that, it was pretty cool. I agree they should have shut the ship cans off. It'd been way cooler, but yeah, that's all I got for that.
All right.
What am I talking about next?
Okay. Well, we'll go.
We're getting the game soon. It's getting late.
Yeah. Okay. But you know what? We'll just do it now. We'll just do it now. So, the Blue Jackets were supposed to play a game against the LA Kings last Monday night. That was supposed to happen, but it didn't because, well, Columbus, like many other places in America right now, is really, 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 really cold. And, level 3 emergency. So basically what that means, because I looked it up, is that, the roads in and around Columbus, because this was an emergency issued by the state of Ohio.
This would have been by Franklin County.
Franklin County, that's right.
Yes, because all but like 6 counties in Ohio do some sort of snow levels. The county I live in does a snow level, but the county I work in does not. And I don't even want to get into it because it's actually bullshit what I don't. But sorry, continue on. That's all.
Okay, but the only well, I read it wrong. The only reason I said Ohio because I know that people are talking about that Ohio is one of the states that does it. Other states don't do it, but that's besides the point. So Franklin County is the county that Columbus is in, and they had a level 3 emergency. And basically what that means is that any roads that are in and around that county basically means that if you are not like a cop or like an ambulance or any sort of like first responder or any like guy that like you need to be on the road, you can't use that road. And well, we all love the Blue Jackets here, and I do think they're very much important, but they're not as important as like a cop or an ambulance or any other sort of first responder that may need that road because the roads were not very good. A lot of snow all over the place. So yeah, and so because of that, in the cold weather, that game that should have happened but didn't got canceled. And now that puts both teams in a little interesting situation, a very less than ideal situation, a situation that neither team is very fond of, but you have to do it, and that's just how it goes, which is this. So that game that should have happened last Monday night that didn't is now being pushed back to March 9th. So this upcoming March 9th, 2026 is when that game is going to happen. Now, why are both teams not very fond of that idea? I'll tell you. Because it goes both ways. Teams on the, Midwest/East Coast, they usually do like 1 or 2 big trips out west, and just so that they can get it done and get it out of the way so that they don't have to do that again. It's the same thing with the teams on the West Coast. They'll make like 1 or 2 trips to the Midwest and like the East Coast and play those teams and get it out of the way so that you don't have to do that again, because that's a pain in the ass to do, and to travel that much, it's hard. It's a thing where you see that teams that go on the West, from the Midwest/East Coast, go on the West Coast, they don't play very good. It's the same thing when you see teams from the West Coast, they go over to the Midwest or the East Coast, and they don't play very good, because that time change is a real thing. It does get in your way. Like the body clocks and all that stuff, that is a thing. So the Kings, at that time, when they were supposed to play the Blue Jackets, they had like one more like trip to do out west, out for like the Midwest and the East Coast, and that was it. They were on that trip. So like they were playing like the Blues, so going to St. Louis, they would have gone to Columbus to play the Blue Jackets. They went to Detroit to play the Red Wings. Then they went out to Pennsylvania, go play the Flyers, and I'm assuming that they probably played Pittsburgh too. So like you get that out of the way. So like you basically would have been done. But now the Kings, because they're not very happy about this, and I get why, is that they have a homestand where they play some games out in Los Angeles, and then they got to get on a plane and fly to Columbus for one game, and then they have to fly back out to California and play
that
more
really
games.
sucks.
And yes, it does. Like you have this homestand going on out in California, and you got to get on a plane, fly to Columbus, play the Blue Jackets, and then you got to quickly get back on a plane the next day and fly back to California. Like, I get why they're not very fond of that. I get that. So I get it. Why are the Blue Jackets not very fond of this? I'll tell you. Because under normal circumstances, had that game got played, they would have had 2 days extra rest, because that week, the first week in March, they play 4 games. They play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then under normal circumstances, they would not have played again until that following Tuesday, when they fly down to Florida to go play the Lightning. But now you have to play a game on March 9th in Columbus, and then as soon as that game is over, you got to get on a plane and quickly fly down to Florida to play the Lightning the next day. And back-to-backs are part of hockey. It happens. But usually, back-to-backs are just like what the Blue Jackets just had, where it's like you play a game in Chicago, and then you get on a plane and fly down to St. Louis. Or they've had it where like the Blue Jackets play a game in Columbus, and then they fly up to Detroit. Stuff that like makes sense from a travel perspective, from a back-to-back. It does not. They have to do this, but it does not make sense to play a game in Columbus and then you have to get on a plane to fly down to Florida to play a game the next day, when that's like a 3-hour. The game probably is not gonna get over to like 10 o'clock, and then between you gotta change, and you gotta put on your clothes and get rid of your jerseys and all that stuff, and then you gotta talk to the Columbus media after the game, and then you figure you gotta pack and get ready to go on the plane and get on the plane, and then that's at least a 2-3 hour plane flight. So you're probably not getting down there till at least 2 or 3 in the morning. And then you're probably not getting to your hotel closer to 4, maybe closer to 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And then you got to get up and play a game the next day. Like, that's not very practical, but you got to do it. And unfortunately, that's just how it's going to have to work out for both teams, is they're going to be put in a situation that they're not very fond of, but you have to do it because there is no other options to do this. This had to be the game, and that's just how it is. So the Blue Jackets should have played a game last Monday, but they didn't because weather shenanigans, and it's really cold, and the Blue Jackets will now have to wait until March to see the Kings in Columbus.
Yeah, it's a bummer that it got canceled. Like, the team was already in town, but like the Kings had flown in the night before. They were already here. But there's hundreds of people it takes to put on an NHL game.
Yeah.
Hundreds. You cannot tell people that they have to be at work on a level 3. You literally can't do that. Also, besides all the workers and everyone else need to be safe, like fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck clearing the top of that parking garage. Damn, that would have sucked. that would really have sucked. Yeah, it was just way too dangerous. I mean, safety's always going to come first with hockey.
Yeah.
Especially when, I mean, obviously there's going to be injuries out in the ice, but the risk is greater than the reward. And that does suck. They have to fly back here and then back there, because normally they string together those games for a
Yeah.
reason. You go on a road trip for 3 games, so you don't have to go back and forth, because traveling like that's hard.
Yeah.
Hard on people. It's not like where football, where like you have one game every week.
Yeah.
One. Yeah, that's a bummer. Who knows how that game will go? Once again, it's March 9th.
Yeah.
Your tickets for that game are good. I heard Owen unfortunately had birthday. The exact same thing happened to me for a March 13th game in 2019. Or was it 2020? Whatever it was, where they had to start doing like the lockdown. It was literally they were debating on it, and the day before I got to go for my birthday.
No, I know what you're getting at there, Hefty Duck, because that was it's both March 12th is both our birthdays, but like it was my birthday in 2020. Like my grandma and grandpa took me out to lunch that day, and that was cool. And then they took me to the grocery store, and they bought me some stuff for my birthday at the grocery store. And that was cool because they know I like going to the grocery store and picking out my own food. And so that was cool. So like I went to lunch with my grandma and grandpa, and that was cool. And then my grandma and grandpa for my birthday took me to a grocery store, and they bought me some stuff at the grocery store. And then the Blue Jackets, they had a big game that day against Pittsburgh. And the Blue Jackets, they're coming off a big win in Vancouver. It was on a Sunday night, and then they didn't play till Thursday. But like they had a big win in Vancouver, and then you had a big game against Pittsburgh because both teams were playing real good at that time. You're like, ooh, big matchup between the Blue Jackets and Pittsburgh. And then, I remember this. After I come home from the grocery store from my grandma and grandpa, after the restaurant and the grocery store, I come home, and then like I get going, I pull up my iPad, and I get going, getting ready for the game. I just see what's going on with the game, who's starting, what's the line's gonna be, what's the starting goalie, and what are they saying about the game and any sort of big matchup. And then they're like, well, it may be canceled and maybe not. And they're like, oh, okay, I hope it doesn't get canceled. And then I'm sitting in my room in my bed and looking at my iPad on Facebook and Twitter. And then it comes, and then I want to say about 5-10 minutes later, it comes on like Facebook and Twitter. Oh, they canceled the game. It's like, oh, damn, disappointment. And then, so it's like, well, I had nothing to do that day, and then my dad was like, "Oh, we're going to Ryan's house." So Ryan's my brother, and like, "Oh, we're going to Ryan's house. You want to go?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll go, because I had nothing else going on that day. So yeah, I'll go to my brother's house. I'll say hi to him, hang out," and I did, and it was cool. And then coronavirus happens thanks to China and all that other garbage, and it's like, well, that was the end of that. So thanks, but no, I know what you're getting at there. That game probably should have happened, but it didn't, and you didn't get to go to that, unfortunately. And that same thing happened to Owen, our good friend Owen, friend of the show Owen, who's been on the show many times. He had tickets to that game because it was his birthday that day, and his fiance Jessica got him tickets for the game, and like they were going to go to that game, and he was looking forward to it, and then he couldn't go because that got canceled. And that's actually how I found out that the game got canceled, because Owen texted me the picture that the Blue Jackets posted. Oh, this game is canceled. It's like, man, I had tickets to go to this game and they cancel it. And it's like, ah, damn. But It was, and oh well. The Blue Jackets will just have to wait till this upcoming March to play the Kings in Columbus. But it wasn't all bad because you know what? I got to hang out with Owen that day on the Discord, so that was cool just to talk to him. But I'm sure he probably would have preferred to go to the Blue Jackets game instead of doing Discord stuff. But I get it. So a game that probably should have happened if not for weather shenanigans. Oh well. So that's just how it goes. The Blue Jackets will just have to wait until this upcoming March to play that game.
Yep.
But anyways, on to the next game. A game that the Blue Jackets actually did play, which is they played a game against the Philadelphia Flyers, and they beat them by the final score of 5-3. The Blue Jackets played an overall pretty good game there. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Why? They gave up 3 goals. You can't do that. Like if you want, like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 from me, you can't give up 3 goals. No. You give up 3 goals, 7 out of 10. And the Blue Jackets overall played a pretty good game there. First period, they played pretty good. They get a big goal from Charlie Coyle to start off the game. That was cool. And then overall, they're playing a pretty good first period there. And then the first mistake happens is you're leaving Travis Konechny wide open. Why are you doing that? He's one of the best shooters on the Flyers. I just don't get that. I do not understand this. Why are you doing this? There was no effort defensively whatsoever. It was lazy. What are you doing here, Blue Jackets? Come on now. That needs to be better. Let's put in some effort here. Play some defense because you can't leave one of the best shooters on the Flyers wide open like that. But you did, and you get scored on. And you weren't being very fair to Elvis Merzlikins there. You hung him out to dry. So you can't do that. But that was really the only bad thing the Blue Jackets did that entire period because, about later on in that period, the Blue Jackets get a big goal from Kirill Marchenko to make it 2-1. And I just love that play because Zach Werenski, it's a puck battle along the boards. Zach Werenski wins it. He gets the puck. And then he kind of skates it towards the net. And he makes it look like he's going to shoot it. And so, because of that, the defense for the Flyers sees that, and they have to respect the shot. So they try and get in the way to try and block the shot. Zach Werenski sees this, and at the last moment, quickly passes it over to Kirill Marchenko, and Kirill Marchenko shoots and scores. Just blows it past the goalie, no chance. Awesome goal. So, pretty good period there. 9 out of 10. That was pretty good. We get to the second period. And that was definitely one of the best periods the Blue Jackets have played. Second period. It was a real good period. You get a big goal from Eric Gabranson to go up 3-1. And you didn't really give the Flyers much to shoot at there in that period. You played real good defense, and there was just good team effort. Just good team effort there. You had some chances to put it away there to make it more than 3-1. You didn't get it done, but that's okay though, because you know what? You still got a big goal from Eric Gabranson there. And Eric Gabranson, he is a defensive defenseman for the Blue Jackets, 6'5", 220, big physical, grinds it out, blocks shots, and he just perfect at that physicality. The Blue Jackets have missed that. Also good at clearing the net. Since he's been back, you notice that there has been a lot of goals that get scored on right in front of the net because Eric Branson's right there to get rid of that. Having said all that, when Eric Branson does score a goal with the Blue Jackets, it just one variety. It's just time and time again, Eric Branson has done this. When he scores a goal, it's just slap shot up high by the point, and I'm just going to blow it right past you. You got no chance. That's it. There is no other goals that Erica Branson has scored with the Blue Jackets. It's just slap shot up high by the point, and I'm just blowing it right past you. You have no chance. And that's exactly what Erica Branson did with that third goal that he scored there for the Blue Jackets, which is slap shot up high, and I'm just going to blow it right past you. You get no chance. So overall, pretty good period there for the Blue Jackets. 10 out of 10. Love that second period. Now, the third period started out good. You had two good chances to make it at least 5-1. First, it was Adam Fantilli. He couldn't get it. Second, it was Boone Jenner. He couldn't get it. And both of those had two things in common that I did not like and needs to be better, which is this. As soon as you get the puck and then you're right in front of the net and you just get the puck and you settle it down and you're trying to look for that perfect shot. By the time that you do that and you eventually do shoot the puck, that chance that you had is gone because you just gave the Flyers goalie enough time to get over there and make the save. If you just get that puck and just shoot it, it's in the net. We're looking at a whole different story here. But you didn't do that. And what makes that even more perfect is that, like, there's certain scenarios that you want in hockey. You want the right-handed shot on the left side of the ice wide open because easy goal, score. You want the left-handed shot on the right side of the ice wide open because why? Easy goal, score. Because it's in both scenarios, it's right in their wheelhouse. It's perfect. They can just shoot it. They don't have to do anything. Whereas if you see other instances where it's kind of an awkward angle and they have to settle down the puck and then shoot it, maybe you score, maybe you don't. But that was perfect. In both scenarios in those goals, you had everything that you wanted. You had Adam Fantilli, a left-handed shot on the right side of the ice, wide open. You had Boone Jenner, left-handed shot on the right side of the ice, wide open. If you just get that puck and just shoot it, it's a goal. They didn't do that. They just settled it. They settled it down and trying to look for that perfect shot. You can't do that. Goalies are just too good. They're too good. You can't get away with that. So why does this matter? Because shortly after that, it was god-awful for the Blue Jackets. It went down the toilet after that. For whatever reason, they just decided to just stop playing. Because then the Flyers, they start getting some chances, and eventually they score again. Who scored again? Oh, it's Travis Konechny, the best shooter on the Flyers, wide open. Again, why are we doing this? Why are we leaving Travis Konechny, easily one of the best shooters on the Flyers, wide open? Again, why are we doing this? Stop doing that. After the first goal, there should have been a guy right on him, on his ass, so that something like that doesn't happen again. Flyers, you want to score a goal? Guess what? Fine. It's not going to be Travis Konechny. You make someone else do it. The Blue Jackets didn't do that. I don't understand why, but they did. And now it's 3-2. And then the Flyers, all that momentum that they got from that second goal, it's just, geez, it was like a shooting gallery. They just kept putting the pressure on the Blue Jackets. Shot after shot after shot. Terrible. Awful. It's like, what are we doing here? You know, get it out. Get a shift in the offensive zone. Skate. Take some pressure off the defense. But you didn't do that. And eventually, the Flyers build up all that momentum that they have, and they get another goal. Who scored the goal? Travis Konechny again. Again. What are we doing? Why? Why is he, for the third time, why is he left wide open? Why? What are we doing? Stop doing that. But you did it anyways. And now it's 3-3, all because you didn't cover their best shooter 3 different times. And I'm not blaming any of these goals on Elvis Merzlikins. I'm just not. It's lazy defense in front of him. You didn't put any work or effort, and then you basically kind of hung him out to dry when you let the best shooter on the Flyers wide open. You just can't do that. And the way that game was going, that game was looking like the Flyers were probably going to win that one because the Blue Jackets were just, awful. But it didn't work out that way because in the end, the Blue Jackets get a big goal from Sean Monahan to make it 4-3. And then they get an empty net goal to make it 5-3. So, in the end, you save yourself there by getting 2 big goals there. You made it harder on yourself than it had to be. It did not have to be like that, but you did. You made it harder on yourself. And, I don't like that, but it is what it is. So, overall, 7 out of 10 game, it did not need to be like that, but it was. Yeah. Oh, and Matthew Olivier gets the empty net goal. So 7 out of 10 game. Still a good game. Things could have been better, but still a good game. 7 out of 10, nicely done, Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with the 7 out of 10 sentiment. Win's a win. I've said it like the last 3 episodes. So they don't ask how, they ask how many. Luckily, because you'd have to tell them the story of how you let Konechny get a hat trick on you at home. And yeah, he went from 17 goals to 20 that night. Good for you. The very, very first one, I can't put the blame on Elvis, but because they were giving him a wide open shot and giving him time to shoot, thus making it very hard for Merzlikins to prepare for it. If you don't know, I don't know, but maybe, just maybe, he could have hopefully gotten that one, but I get why not. So the one-timer was absolutely sick. So I want to talk about Kirill Marchenko going and before that happened, Werenski got tangled up with a guy, and the Flyers fans that were in the building were all calling the bench, I think, was calling for a penalty because it looked, they got kind of tangled up a little bit when they're both battling for the puck. But if you look closely, there's 2 things. One, there was zero intention by Werenski. It doesn't matter. You have to be in control of your stuff. But he doesn't really do anything to the guy to really bring him down. They both just get kind of tangled up in each other. The other guy drops to one knee and then falls. But during all that, the other guy also had his hand grabbing the stick of Werenski. So if I were a ref, I would look at that and be like, oh, yeah, that kind of evens out. One eye for an eye type shit, I guess. But yeah, that's personally why I think that wasn't called a penalty. And the guys, this was another national broadcast game, so the guys in the national broadcast were talking about that too. How that really, we get why they were yelling about a penalty, but once you watch the replay in slow mo, I don't think there's anything to call there. Good, Branson, congrats on your first goal this season. Nice having you back, like seeing it. The second Konechny goal was, dude, Konechny's such a great shot, dude. It's hard to not be a little bit impressed by him when he scores against it. It was, he went stick side on Elvis, and usually stick side, that's not the weak side. So, yeah, but they were giving him wide open shots. And then for his Hattie one, the pass that was to the back post was slick. Gotta give credit where credit's due. That was so close because the pass had to be perfect, and it was on the ice When I first saw it, I was like, oh, did that go in the air a little bit? No, when you watch it, it was on the ice directly, and he's just there right at the back post. Perfect positioning, matched with the skill to get it in, means don't leave him wide open. Then Blue Jackets goal from Monahan. Sivo had a great pass. That was sick. Love to see it. Just a little side note on this game. So both Rick Bowness and Rick Tocchet have been on TNT. And in fact, for this game, it was said that Rick Bowness was scheduled to be on TNT as a panelist. I don't know.
Both.
I say it, the more wrong it sounds. But like he was supposed to be there, and they kept on mentioning that during the podcast or during the broadcast. Sorry, not a podcast. But it's just funny that both those coaches had been on TNT before. Like, you know how we see from time to time. Cylinder's looking great out there. I love to see him out there doing work. I think that he's been great. Let's talk about Voronkov real quick and the stupid penalties this guy's been getting lately. I love the dude. He's a great player, but it's we've talked about this before, specifically with Ronnie. He is kind of bigger dude. A little push from him is a big push from a smaller person, but like the stick grabbings.
Yeah.
And stop grabbing his fucking stick, bro. Like, what do you just no? Just put sticks in your glove and don't even let your hand grasp. Just out like that. Don't grab his freaking stick. I'm gonna yell about this some more in the next two games. So a couple notable stats for this game. Blue Jackets penalty kill has been on fire this last week. Philadelphia was 0 for 5. Stay out of the box, boys. But 0 for 5. Your penalty kill is doing great. Blue Jackets were 0 for 3. But face-off percentage, Blue Jackets had like 2/3 of the face-offs almost. Pretty crazy. And it was a rare time where the other team has more hits than the Blue Jackets. If they do have more hits, usually it's pretty close, and this is still relatively close. But Philadelphia 21, the Blue Jackets 17. This was the first meeting that took all season to get here, and this is the first time they played the Flyers. Their next meeting will be March 14th, away in Philadelphia. So, 7 out of 10. Good job. Good game. Love to see you out there working hard. Play some defense, boys. Let's go.
Yeah. The thing I'll say about Dmitry Voronkov is that some of the penalties he does, it's not exactly his fault. I just think that it's because he is a bigger dude, and that sometimes people who are bigger don't necessarily quite understand how big they actually are. And in their own mind, they may not think that just a little hit here is not that big of an issue. But to most people, it's an actual bigger hit because they're not quite used to getting hit by a dude that's 6'5", 235. So like these bigger dudes, they say, oh, it wasn't that bad. But, it kind of actually was. And sometimes that gets them in trouble. It's not exactly their fault, but it is what it is.
Some of these were his fault.
That's
what I'm yelling about. Oh yeah, I'll point out the next ones too.
And so there's that. And then I also think that sometimes because they know that maybe they don't play, maybe not play as physical as they should because they think, oh, I'm probably going to get called for something just because I'm bigger that other people wouldn't get called for. That's probably something there too.
Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yes, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So another thing I will say this about, though, is that it's not just a Voronkov thing, but this has been a thing I've said all season long on our shows, which is the penalties that the Blue Jackets have done are stupid, idiotic penalties because it's like skate, 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 move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. If you skate and you move your feet, you're not going to get called. But when you don't skate, you don't move your feet, you're just standing there, guess what? You're going to get called. And that's what Voronkov has been doing, is that he's not skating, he's not moving his feet, and he's just standing there. And then he gets called for a penalty. It's like, don't do that. Like, if if you're skating, you're moving your feet, you're not going to get called. But if you're just standing there, you're going to get called. So you need skate, 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 skate. Move your feet, move your feet, move your feet, and you won't get called. So like that's just, and it's not just a Voronkov thing necessarily, but just the thing that the Blue Jackets just need to get better in general. You can't do that.
Yep. Well, on to the Chicago game.
Yes.
Oh,
so, on to the next game. The Blue Jackets get a big win in Chicago against the Blackhawks. They beat the Blackhawks 4-2. Charlie Coyle gets a hat trick, and it was awesome. So, the Blue Jackets overall was a 9 out of 10 first period because they really played a real good game there. They're out shooting the Blackhawks. They had way more chances, and the Blackhawks, outside of that one goal that they scored, they had nothing in that first period. The Blue Jackets really dominated the first period. And even when you look at the analytics, that the analytics back that up too, that yes, the Blue Jackets played a real good game there in the first period. They get a big goal from Charlie Coyle on the power play. And of course, the story going into that is, oh, well, the Blackhawks, they have a good penalty kill. Mm-hmm. And I remember, of course, I live in the Blackhawks TV market. So
I heard that on the broadcast, I think, too.
So I live in the Blackhawks TV market, so I can't – normally I pull out my computer, use ESPN Plus, and I'm able to watch the Blue Jackets broadcast with Steve Mears and Jody Shelley. But I live in Illinois, so I get the Blackhawks announcers. And they're all that entire first period, they're like, oh, they're talking about what's been bad about the Blackhawks, but also what's been good. And they're like, oh, their penalty kill's been real good this season. They have a good penalty kill. And shortly after that, they give up a goal. It's like, oh, man, you kind of jinxed them there. Maybe you shouldn't have. But, hey, it worked out for the Blue Jackets. So they get a big goal from Charlie Coyle. The Blue Jackets are winning 1-0. And then late in the period, it was just stupid. A dumb, idiotic mistake, a brain fart, because Boone Jenner, I like you, but you made a dumb play there. You made a bad turnover in the defensive zone. You tried getting it out. You couldn't get it out. Bad turnover. Blackhawks keep it in. And then you can't get it out. You had like 2 or 3 tries to get it out. You couldn't get it out. And eventually, they score. You can't do that. Like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to win. Well, they won, but like you can't play like that. That was a gimme goal. You can't give it up like that. So overall, 9 out of 10 period. Second period, the Blue Jackets played an awesome, I'd say pretty good second period there, minus giving up a goal there. They get another big goal from Charlie Coyle. And then later on, they're playing a good period. Later on in the game, they get a big goal from Matthew Olivier. And that was cool. The Blackhawks challenged it for goaltender interference. I don't understand why they did that. That was stupid and idiotic because when you watch the replay, yeah, there's goaltender interference. But you want to know why? It's because the Blackhawks player pushes Cole Sillinger into the net. And that's why the goal happens. That goal doesn't happen if Cole Sillinger doesn't get pushed into the net by the Blackhawks player. So that was a stupid challenge by the Blackhawks there. They lose the challenge. Now, Blue Jackets don't score on the power play, but still a stupid challenge. Now, Blackhawks score later on in that period. And because it was just stupid, idiotic, lazy defense, you're just standing there. You're just letting the Blackhawks just skate through the entire defense, and then you hung out Elvis Merzlikins out to dry. You just can't do that. That was stupid and idiotic. If you put some effort there and you play some defense and you don't let them skate through you, that goal doesn't happen. But you did. Now, we go to the third period. And, it was a little hit and miss because both teams had their chances there to where they could have scored. And neither team scored until they get a big goal from Charlie Coyle to make it 4-2. And that was the goal that Charlie Coyle scored to complete the hat trick for Charlie Coyle. And it was awesome. And Elvis Merzlikins played a good game there, make some big saves to keep the Blue Jackets in the game. So Charlie Coyle hat trick, that was cool. And overall, you played a real good game there, and I like it. 8 out of 10 Blue Jackets. Nicely done.
Oh, yeah, I'd have to agree with that. 8 out of 10. It was pretty awesome to see, especially with seeing the Blue Jackets on the road this year. That's been pretty freaking sweet. Sorry. just piece came in my mouth for some dumbass reason. So, my notes. Charlie Coyle, power play goal, noise. That's literally what my notes say. I don't want to show you the rest of them. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah. Connor Bedard scoring. Not a surprise. Obviously, it's Bedard. You got to clear it. You had 3 skaters that were like kind of behind the puck, behind the play a little bit. You just collapse your formation, and everybody was too far over that center, the center line going up and down the ice. Hot dog style, not hamburger. Coyle, he's been on fire lately. I can't talk. I played his 1000th game the other night. Got a silver stick. Gets the first goal of the night that night. I don't know, dude. It's just so cool how it kind of coincided so well. Just goes to show that 1,000 games, he never stopped. So first period, yeah, whatever. Coyle though, he had a great takeaway. And then he had a great assist on the next goal as well. Love to see it. This next goal has to do with Bedard again. You can't let Bedsy and Bedard and Nazar connect. You literally can't. Obviously, they're going to sometimes. They're both fantastic players. Was it that goal? Yeah. That goal, though, was pretty fucking impressive because it's the puck is doing this little guy on the ice. It's like bobbling around on the surface of the ice a little bit. And Nazar just settle like bop, bop, and then kind of like swoops it up into he's like a foot outside the crease. So he's very close to the goal and still was able to get it up over the goalie and into the top corner of the net. Very impressive. Very good shot. To avoid that, just take a penalty and hit him. I don't know. I'm joking a little bit on that one. Then to cap it all off, Cole Sillinger, what a sportsman out there, making sure that Coyle gets that puck for the empty net hat trick. Yeah. Wonderful. Love to see it. We just saw a team do that against the Blue Jackets at home, and now the Blue Jackets did that to another team at home. So it's good to see the, give a little, take a little. Let's see. Yeah, silly pass to Coyle was just really nice there. Ronnie, another dumb penalty.
Yeah.
God, dude. They're so good. So glad the power play or the penalty kill is on point because, to be fair, they only gave him like 2 power plays, but still, I thought that Kent Johnson penalty, I think, was kind of some bullshit, though, too.
Yeah,
but whatever, dude. He keeps getting called on things, I think. I don't know why. Voronkov, I know why, but like seriously, yeah, you just got to be careful. Once again, face-offs for the Blue Jackets had 60% to Chicago's 40%. Face-offs have been real strong for the Blue Jackets here lately, and I think it's due to some of the line changes that we've seen bonus make. So, pretty sick. Power play 1 for 3 for Blue Jackets, 0 for 2 for Chicago. That was one of 2 meetings for this year. The next and last meeting between these 2 teams is Wednesday. So we're going to see how this season series wraps up between the 2. I'm going to say series, but it's 2 games. It's still a series. We're going to see how that wraps up here in just a few days. We'll see if there's any bad blood or anything to carry on over. The Blue Jackets will have the home ice advantage this time. Yeah. So, good luck to your Blue Jackets. Can't wait for that game here in just 2 days.
Yeah. All right. On to the next game. The Blue Jackets get a big win in St. Louis against the Blues. The Blue Jackets beat the Blues by a final score of 5-3. This is a 7 out of 10 game for me because, like I said earlier on in the show, you give up 3 goals, but you still win. Guess what? That's a 7. Yeah, because you will not get an 8 or a 9 or even a 10 from me if you give up 3 goals. It's just not happening. So,
have we given any game ever a 10 other than maybe the outdoor game? But that's because of what it was, not because of how good they played.
No, the outdoor game was the closest to that, and that wasn't a 10.
Yeah.
But the outdoor game, that was the closest to a 10 that's ever closed that we've ever had. But, but because outdoor game and other fun stuff, but whatever. So it does not start out. The game does not start out very good. You play terrible, awful, and you give up a goal. It's not good. It's not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. However, though, shortly after you give up that goal, you have a real good shift in the offensive zone. And then it's a goal from Isaac Lundestrom. And what I like about that is it's a good shift in the offensive zone. Miles Wood gets the puck. And teams are now know when you're playing the Blue Jackets that, you got to be careful with this Miles Wood guy because he's really big and he's really fast. And if you give him any time in space, he's just going to blow right past you. And so they saw that, and actually Miles Wood used that to his advantage because he kind of drew to some defenders right on him, and then he quickly passed it over to Boone Jenner, and Boone Jenner was kind of in a shooting position, and so the Blues, they kind of got on him, and then he quickly passed it over to Isaac Lundestrom, and he shot and scored. Overall, good effort, good shift in the offensive zone by the Blue Jackets there that leads to a goal. So that was cool. Then later on in the first period, you get a big goal from Denton Matejchuk. And it's just, look, shoot the puck. Shoot the puck. It does not matter where you are in the offensive zone. Get the puck on the net. Puck, it's kind of up high, and he just puts it on net. And there's 5 guys in front, and either you don't score or maybe you score on the rebound. It bounces off a stick and then whatever. But that's what happened. The shot from up high, then Matejchuk shoots it, and the puck bounces off a stick, actually of a Blues player, and it goes in. That's why you always shoot the puck. I understand there's a reason to passing the puck, and you got to set some things up, but so many times I've seen so many teams just overpass the puck way too much, and then you get nothing, and it goes the other way. So, good on Den Matejchuk to shoot the puck and get the goal there. So, overall, that was a pretty good period there. It was 9 out of 10 for the Blue Jackets. Now, the second period starts out terrible because you give up a goal on the power play, and you were not playing good at all. Just really bad. Not good. But you get a big goal to tie it up at 2. So that was good. And then you get another goal to make it 3-2. But then you give up another goal. Now it's 3-3. But Damon Severson makes it 4-3. A slap shot up high from the point. Blows it by the goalie. No chance. that Blues goalie had no chance. He wasn't stopping that one.
Nope.
Awesome shot from Damon Severson. We go to the third period. And you know what? That was a real good period. That's one of the better third periods they played all season long. Because, you know, for the most part, they didn't really give the Blues much to shoot at. But when they did, Jack Greaves was there to make some big saves to keep the Blue Jackets in the game. And then, tell you what, it's a small sample size, but as of right now, under Rick Bowness, the 6-on-5 play defensively has been really good. And so anytime that's happened, they've had a chance to get it out, they get it out. And if they've had a chance to score, they've scored. Because in the end, the Blues have some chances 6-on-5. They don't get it. The Jack Greaves making some big saves. And then anytime they have a chance to get it out, the Blue Jackets get it out. And eventually, the puck, they get it out. It goes to Mason Marchment. Mason Marchment shoots and scores. Big goal. And eventually, the Blue Jackets win that game 5-3. Another thing I like about what Mason Marchment did there, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I hate this very much, is that late in the game, other team pulls the goalie, and my thing is you just need to get it out, but don't ice the puck. Do not give them, you need to limit their chances on how many times they have in the offensive zone. And every time you ice the puck, you're playing with fire. You are giving them another chance to score. And you can't do a line change. If you ice the puck, you can't do a line change. So that's why I don't like it. It's huge. You can't do that. And yet, this is not just a Blue Jackets thing. I see this in hockey in general, where teams are just so willy-nilly and just so, casual about, you know what? I'm just going to just go for the empty net, even if I ice the puck, even if I'm way in my defensive zone, where I have basically like a less than 1% chance of scoring. I'm still going to do it anyways. And what happens? 9 times out of 10, you ice the puck. And a good chunk of that time, guess what? You get scored on because you weren't very smart with the puck. But that's not what Mason Marchment did. What Mason Marchment did is he realized as soon as he got the puck, he made sure to get to center ice, cross that line, and then he shot it. Because even if he had missed it, he would not have gotten called for icing. And then that would have given the Blue Jackets a chance to do a line change. And that's what I like about that. He was smart about that, is that he didn't just shoot the puck as soon as he got it. He made sure to cross the center ice line, and then he shot it. And then even if he didn't get it, he wasn't going to get called for icing. That's what I like about it. But in the end, he didn't have to worry about that because he shot and scored. So overall, pretty good game there for the Blue Jackets. 7 out of 10. Nicely done, Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I have to give this one a 7 out of 10 too. I mean, y'all love making your fans nervous, okay? Especially this year. We understand that there is new coaching. We understand that there's all this new shit. But the third period, historically, for this season, ain't been good. So when you see a team tie up the Blue Jackets, in the second, you see the kind of goals the Blue Jackets are giving up. You're like, holy shit, what are you out there doing?
Yeah.
Like for real. But anyway, so this is the 5th straight win for the Blue Jackets. This is their longest winning streak of the year. Knock on wood that it can continue. The goaltending has been incredible for this month in the past few games. We all, like I said before earlier in the show, we all have heard about and know about like the coaching bump, as they call it. When something changes mid-season and the players are like more spurned on now, maybe they're like just needed a change of pace, just needed a new voice in the room, just need a new angle, whatever. So first goal, Jimmy Snuggerud, whatever, dude. Get a better name if you don't want me to mispronounce it. That's jokes. All right. Yeah, I understand the double teaming thing, Coyle, but the timing on that was bad. There was, it was kind of like a 2v2 coming down the ice, and I don't know if Coyle thought it was a 2v3 and someone was behind him to take care of the man that he should have been on more in the middle, that he was already kind of there. But there was a Blue Jacket putting pressure on the puck when the Blues were coming into the offensive zone, and about 2/3 up the ice, Coyle goes for that push. He goes for that double team, and he's like not even halfway there, and the Blues player passes it to Snuggerud. Or I don't even think it was it was Snuggerud passed it to a Blues player who ended up passing it back to him, who scored. It was I understand the double teaming, I totally get it, but the timing was bad. That was the single complaint I have from Coyle from this last whole month, I swear. Jenner had great awareness on this Lundestrom goal too. Absolutely phenomenal. We've seen it a few times from him. The captain knows his players. The captain knows his team. He's very aware on the ice. His experience was showing with that pass. Amazing. Love to see it. Matejchuk, good job just throwing it in the mess. You just chuck it in there sometimes. Chuck it in there. But because sometimes you just got to rip a shot and see what happens. You get those bounce rounds up front, fantastic. So, and in this case, I think it hit off a Blues player stick anyway. I think it went 5-hole even, from far out. That was pretty close up to the blue line above the dots for sure. But the power play goal, Jonathan Bergeron for the Blues scored. You got to control those rebounds.
Yeah,
that's it was very, very close for the Blue Jackets player to have stopped that puck and controlled it and then cleared it. But that's all. You really just got to control those rebounds. What are you gonna do? So I'm gonna talk about Damon Severson for a minute. Dude is having a great season. We're not seeing. We talked about it for the last 2 seasons.
Brain farts.
But we've seen those brain fart moments occasionally from him. I don't know if it's nerves or just sometimes they say it takes up to 2 seasons to completely gel with the new team, to completely get your chemistry right and everything going like that. So yeah, we've seen less brain farts and more creativity, and that showed in the pass that he had in the to start the Kent Johnson goal. Now, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Shit. That was the knuckle puck, right? Nope. I'm right. Okay, sorry. Weird little pass from Severson. So as they're entering the offensive zone, the Blue Jackets, Severson receives a pass from I forget exactly from the side. Well, he kicks it instead of going with the puck forward towards the corner, towards the goal, which is where they were going and where the play was expected to go. He redirects the puck backwards to a player on the side, and that is where the confusion for the Blues starts. And that was a very good way to throw them off, to get them, a little bit, on their heels, because they're like, wait, what? And then Severson's still going forward towards the goal, so he's not only creating chances and creating a chance to pass and opening up space. Now he's going and being a menace there in front of the goal. So neat little pass. And then Provorov. Jeez, dude, I cannot talk tonight. Yeah. Provorov, absolutely one of the hardest shots. It's kind of the same thing with Goodbranson. Very rarely does Provorov score anything other than one of the hardest shots you'll see in a game.
It bounced off of Kent Johnson's stick, and then because of his shot was just so hard.
Yeah, pretty sick there. So a goal goes to Kent Johnson for that. Yeah, the Tyler Tucker goal, knuckles for the Blues. That's a tough one.
But
I don't know. I don't really know. It just knuckled here. It was in the crowd. I don't know how it didn't hit anybody. I don't.
Well, it bounced off of Boone Jenner, but the thing is this
Yeah.
is where this is we've talked about this on the show, but this is where Jet Greaves' weakness has come to hurt him, like time and time again.
Dropped to
Is
his
that
knees.
that he drops to his knees, and then because he's a shorter dude, he struggles to cover up the goals up high. And if he was a bit bigger, then that goal doesn't happen. But because he's shorter, that goal happens because he's a smaller dude and he struggles at times to cover goals up high, and that's why that goal happened. If he's bigger, that goal doesn't happen.
Well, and it's one of those things that maybe 8 times out of 10 it hits Jenner and it goes a different direction.
Yeah.
The puck was very wobbly in the air. It was not sauced at all. It was very just coming through the air like a wobbly AF. But yeah, and then Damon Severson with his own goal for the night. What a beast. That was a big old slap shot. He comes down the ice, old school style, just winds it up, slaps her, and just burns it right past him easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Then Mason Marchment to cap it off with his 13th goal of the season. His production is slowed a little bit lately, but he also was just injured, so not too worried about that. Couple dumb penalties overall in this whole game. Super stupid penalties. Let's talk about the first one. In the first period, Cole Cylinder 2 minutes for holding Oscar Sundquist.
Skate. Move your feet. Yeah. Move your feet.
Move. Cole Cylinder is deceptively big. He's not the biggest out there, but none of these dudes are small. They just look small next to a 7-foot guy, because he's towering. Oh, duh. But he's deceptively, and I keep forgetting too, watching him. I think another player said this not too long ago either. He is a man playing in the NHL. He seems like a seasoned player at this point. He's solid, and he's like 23, 22. Yeah, he's 3 seasons in the NHL so far, 3 full seasons. So, love to see it. He's still very young. Shit like that's gonna happen. Short up. Delay a game from Bujestad. Look over glass. That was stupid. Dmitry Voronkov, 2 minutes for slashing Dalibor Dvorsky. That was unnecessary. That was just another dumb penalty. But luckily... Wait, no, they did score on that one. Damn. Yeah, no, that was power play goal directly tied to another Voronkov penalty. And I'm picking on a lot for this penalty stuff. Still find him a great player. But gotta figure it out sometimes. I don't know. Tape your hands to your stick. I don't know. But yeah, whatever. So power play goal kind of caused because of that. What was the other penalties? Jordan Kyrou, yeah. Marchment, yeah. So Marchment, you gotta watch yourself too, because you have a reputation, and you're gonna get called for things too that might be minor, they might be ignored by someone else, but they're watching you. It's just someone out there watching, Tom Wilson or Marchand or something. They're just watching you. They're looking at you. Fantilli was also kind of a stupid penalty, but this was another interesting one as far as statistics go. St. Louis had 10 more shots on goal and 2 fewer goals. So great on the goaltending for that night. Absolutely stellar. Was he one of the stars of the game? No, he wasn't. Okay. So that was really strange. Jackets 1 for 2 on the power play. Blues 1 for 4. Faceoffs close. Yeah, what else was different? Yeah, that was it. Power play 1 for 2, 1 for 4. This was the final of 2 games. Excuse me if you heard the burp. My bad. This was the final of 2 games for the Blue Jackets versus the Blues. They won November 1st, 3-2, and now they won this one 5-3. We'll not see them again for the rest of the season. Good job, Blue Jackets, taking the 2 from the team and taking it home. It's not like a division rivalry or anything, obviously, but can't complain about a win.
You can't. So, okay, so next thing I'd like to talk about is that this will, in some way, shape, or form, is going to affect the Blue Jackets in some way. How much that will be determined, but the Reds just announced today all over social media that they do not have FanDuel Sports as their TV channel for games. They're essentially going to do what the Guardians did last season, which is you go through like an online service and you pay. In this case, you're going to be paying the Reds money to stream all their games in their market. So, like, if you are in the Reds TV market, you will be paying the Reds money to watch their games, and you will have no blackouts. This doesn't affect me because I do like the Reds, but I don't live in the Reds TV market, so I would just use the regular baseball streaming service that they have. But if you are a Reds fan and you live in the Reds TV market, guess what? No blackouts because you just pay the Reds money and you can watch it, all their games. That's it. No more FanDuel Sports Network for the Reds. Why do I bring this up? Well, because the Blue Jackets, along with the Cavs, are also on FanDuel Sports Network Ohio.
Yep.
And this has been a thing that's been popping up in the news for some time now, where it's like, well, FanDuel Sports, the company that owns FanDuel Sports Network, is not doing very good right now. And they're bankrupt. And it's so bad to the point that they're going to court for this bankruptcy issue. And now it just makes you wonder, okay, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Are they going to, yeah, like, are they, what's going on there? Are they going to be able to make it, or are they just going to go bye-bye? And in the event that they go bye-bye, the Blue Jackets are going to have to figure out what's going on there and how they're going to have their games. The good news is, I've been reading articles about this, is that the Blue Jackets should be good to go for this season, so they don't really have to worry about that. It's just about what do you do for next season. That's gonna because if FanDuel Sports Network does go away for good, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like that, you're gonna have to figure something out. Yeah. I have my own suspicion on what I think the Blue Jackets might do, which is the last 2 seasons, the Blue Jackets have been having some games on local channels in Ohio, whether that be like ABC 6 News in Columbus or like different like CW channels in like Ohio, whether that be like in Columbus or Cincinnati or Cleveland or wherever. So if FanDuel Sports Network goes away, which it certainly looks like that's the case as of right now, my suspicion is the Blue Jackets are probably going to do what they've been doing, is just, put some, their games on all these local channels that they've been doing, like a ABC 6 News in Columbus, or like, CW and like Cincinnati or Cleveland or a whole bunch of other stuff. And then, they probably are going to do what the Reds and Guardians are doing. It's like, well, yeah, just here's some money, pay here and watch our games, no blackout sort of thing, if it has to come to that. So I saw that news today on social media that the Reds posted, and then it got me wondering, like, oh boy, what are the Blue Jackets going to do if they can't do it on FanDuel Sports Network anymore? So it's just something to think about, that there is a possibility that the Blue Jackets may not have FanDuel Sports Network anymore after this season, and they may have to do what the Reds and Guardians are doing.
Yeah, I personally do it. Please, for the love of God, I will gladly pay the Blue Jackets directly to get my games. Because okay, now it's been so much better this year. It's been, and actually I don't subscribe directly to FanDuel. I subscribe to FanDuel through Amazon Prime. Because it's just all one big bill or whatever. It's easier for me that way. Now the Guardians one, I do specifically go get that app, and you better believe it's so easy. It's just so easy. I don't necessarily watch the Cavs, and there's no Monsters games on FanDuel.
No.
They're a Cleveland team. They're an Ohio team.
Yeah.
Now there's some AHL stuff that's like hard for it to always broadcast, but yeah, I only want one team anyway. So I get $25 a month, I'm in. I'm sold. And then the money can go directly to the Blue Jackets organization or whatever. Because like, why does this keep happening? Is this a money-making scheme by these companies? Are they just trying to get us like? What's going to happen to the FanDuel little bar thing that's across the street there in Columbus? You know, is that's just going to close down and we're going to have another empty spot down there again for a minute? I mean, it'll get filled quick, I'm sure, but still, like, what are you doing? Why is another massive company going bankrupt from this? Because FanDuel is not just a TV service. And maybe that they're only going to get rid of their TV service or whatever or what, but like they have their hands in so many other things. They should be literally making money from their app, right? Like I don't know. The one thing that would really be big for me, and I haven't really noticed it too bad this year, is the blackouts. There's no blackouts. I live in a very odd market because I am so very close, like between Cleveland and Columbus, that I normally get. I am in the just over the line for Northeast Ohio, and I get Cleveland stations. But when the Blue Jackets play, anywhere like it's blacked out where I live. If I can find it on ESPN or TNT or something like that, it's usually just blacked out here.
Yeah.
So that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't give me blackouts. I pay for everything that I watch. Okay, this is going to force me to try to pirate shit because of the blackouts. I will gladly pay money for. I'll gladly pay money for a high quality stream that works. Just give me one. Just give me one. That's all. Anyway, a little bit of a rant there. That's probably not necessary, but realistic. This is like we've already had this conversation like recently, like last year, or the year before last year, whatever it was. Like it was when it switched over from Valley Sports.
Yeah.
What's the damage here? What's going on? Is I thought that there's those digital ads on the side were supposed to help you make more money. Stupid. I don't care about the ads as much. I think that they lowered the amount that they are animated. I don't see them moving near as much during the game because that's what really pissed me off with the movement.
Yeah.
Anyway, end rant. Hopefully we just get an app. I'm all for it. Some people I know might just want to get everything all in one channel. I get that, but I don't watch anything else on FanDuel. Not a single thing else. I mean, and I like some of the stuff. I just don't have time or care.
Yeah. So now just throwing that one out there. It's like, the Reds don't have FanDuel Sports anymore, and they have this obviously a new thing like what the Guardians did, where you pay them money. So in this case, you're paying the Reds money, and then you get to watch the games. And it's just when that happens, you're just wondering, like, like what's going to happen with the Blue Jackets?
Yeah.
So that's just something to think about. That there's a possibility that the Blue Jackets may not have FanDuel Sports, and they may have to find something different.
Yep, That's the way she goes, man. I mean, I'm not.
Oh,
I don't hate FanDuel by any means. Like I hated Valley Sports. I pitched a fit the one time when they. Yeah, I hated Valley Sports so bad. Half the games you couldn't even watch half the time, and you're paying money for this, and there was never any offer of like, oh well, here's a free week or here's a free month or something like that for like wasting your money on a product that doesn't work. So stupid. FanDuel at least worked.
it did.
Anyway.
All right, on to the next thing. So, okay, so next up, I do have some more pictures from the outdoor game at Penn State. In particular, we got a picture of Caden Lindstrom in action. So we'll put that up on the screen here. So there we go. Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom, who plays for Michigan State. There he is right there in the white jersey with number 28. And fighting for a face-off play. Caden Lindstrom is 6'4", 220. And you can see why in this picture that he is definitely bigger than the Penn State player he's trying to win that face-off for, because he kind, to a certain extent, kind of towers over him. So it's just kind of an interesting picture.
Like a man versus child right there.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, the other guy has a beard. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. But so overall, pretty cool picture here. We got Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom at the outdoor game at Penn State. So that's cool.
Pretty sick.
And continuing with the whole, Penn State thing, because Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith, who plays for Penn State, got a big goal against Michigan State the day before the outdoor game, where Penn State played a game in their stereotypical hockey arena. And it's a bomb, a blast from the point. So we're going to put that up on the screen, so we'll play that goal. And the goals that we've shown from Jackson Smith, that seems to be a common theme that he's done, which is when he shoots it, it's very Eric Gabranson-like, where he just slap shot, I'm just going to blow it right past you. That's it. That's what you're getting from me. I'm just going to slap shot it, and I'm just going to blow it right past you. No chance. And that is exactly what happens here in this goal. Is Jackson Smith is going to get the puck, and then he's just going to slap shot it and blow it past the goalie. No chance. So here it is. Okay, that one wasn't a slap shot, but still, it's still the variety of I'm just going to blow it right past you, no chance.
Dude,
So,
you can tell who it is because he's just a beast out there. He's a big dude too. Like
he's
big.
He's also like, I want to say he's like 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds.
Yeah. Look how quick he moves.
But like, look at this. He's going to get the puck, and then I'm just going to blow it right past you. Erica Branson, like this.
Yeah. That was sick. Love to see it.
The goalie for Michigan State, he just stands there like, yep, I know it. I had no chance. I accept it.
Hole in the back of the net or something now.
Yeah. He's like, yep, I know it.
That's
But
so
like,
funny.
we'll play this like 2 more times so you can see it. But so, boom. Yep, and there's the goal for Michigan State. He's like, yep, I know it. I had no chance. I know it. I'll accept that. So good play in front of the net, puck battles, and then it pops loose, and there's Jackson Smith. I'm just going to blow this thing right past you. Boom. And then, yep, there's the goal. He's like, yep, I know it. I know it. I had no chance on that goal. I get it. I accept it. Yep.
Hell yeah.
So we'll
Love to
play
see
one
it.
more.
Hopefully, someday this will translate nicely to the NHL as well.
The Blue Jackets tend to believe this. Tend to believe that it will translate because recently Rick Nash got interviewed, and he is the director of player development, and so he'll go to a lot of the games for the Blue Jackets prospects and just check in and see what's going on. And he's been going to this year. He's been checking up on a lot of Caden Lindstrom and Jackson Smith. So, he's been to some games at Penn State. He's been to some games at Michigan State. And then when both Jackson Smith and Caden Lindstrom came to Ohio State to play there, he checked them out there. And Rick Nash was interviewed, and he said that he really likes what Jackson Smith is doing at Penn State. And he believes that's definitely going to translate to the NHL because he's big, he's physical, and the way he can skate and his slap shot, his just ability to just blow it past goalies, that's going to translate. So the Blue Jackets feel pretty good about that.
Sorry, I was tearing a piece of paper there. If anyone heard that, I thought I muted myself. It's my bad. My bad, y'all.
So overall, pretty good goal here from Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith.
Hell yeah.
One last time. We'll change it after that.
Wham. So, it's always interesting when you see prospects playing against each other, though, too.
Right? He was playing against Caden Lindstrom, and they've hung out with each other before at the development camp.
Yeah, I'm curious if they chatted with each other a little bit there. I bet they at least said, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Right. So, I do want to share this picture. This was from the outdoor game down in Florida, and it's really cool. And I've said this time and time again, but when you go to an outdoor game, you need to sit up high because if you sit down low, you're not really going to see much. It's going to be hard to see because baseball and football stadiums are not made for hockey rinks. Just the sight lines and the dimensions are just not meant for hockey rinks. So when you sit down low, it's just not going to be very good. So if you ever have a chance to go to an outdoor hockey game, you need to sit up high because it's just better that way and you can see everything. And this is just a perfect example of this. This is in the upper deck and you can see everything. It's just a perfect seat for the game there.
It's pretty cool. I was just watching a clip of the Tampa Bay coaches walking in with the head coach smoking a cigar with his fedora on and his pinstripe gangster suit.
Well, people were like, what the heck is that? But it turns out it's a little tribute to a little mob culture that was going on in Florida during the 1930s.
Yeah.
So hey, no, but that's cool though. It's like that's paying a little tribute to Florida history. That you're a Florida team and you're paying tribute to Florida history. Essentially, like the Blue Jackets with their outdoor game jersey. Ohio State was one of the themes there. So you had Buckeye leaves in the collar of the jersey. And you had the Ohio State band there playing music there during the game. And you had them do Script Ohio on the ice. And Ohio State band played music when the Blue Jackets scored a goal. Just like when Ohio State scores, football at least.
Or women's hockey.
And women's hockey. I'm with you. I wish
Man.
the men would do that, but they don't. They rip off the Rangers' goal horn. That's stupid, but whatever. And so, like, I think that's cool when teams, they pay a little tribute to where they're playing. And, of course, this game was played down in Florida, and so you're paying with a little, dressing up like a little, mafia, a little gangster from the 1930s of what you would have seen in Florida in the 30s. So, like, I thought that was cool, a little tribute there.
I saw a post that said that they missed an opportunity to make the players walk a plank to the penalty box.
Yeah. What, they did a real good job with the whole pirate thing, because I get that, because it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium, so I get why they did that.
Yeah.
It's just like how the Blue Jackets had the whole Ohio State thing there, because it was at Ohio State, so I get it. So they did a good job there. But, yeah, walking the plank, that definitely would have been cool if they had done that. Now, we'll take this off on the screen, and we got a couple more things, and then we'll get out of here. So, I'm gonna say this, that I understand why people were kind of questioning why the NHL had 2 outdoor hockey games down in Florida. Of course, they had the one for the Panthers down in Miami, and then they had the one for the Lightning down in Tampa Bay where the Buccaneers play. And I understand why people feel like, Florida, like, what are you doing? An outdoor hockey game in Florida? Are you sure about that? I understand why people are questioning it. I had that feeling too, like, how the heck are you going to do an outdoor game in Florida? But you know what? They found a way to get it done both times. And now you really can't. It's like, what are they going to do next? And honestly, you really can't. The hockey can't say no to really anyone anymore. Oh, we can't do it because this reason and this reason. Because they can say, well, you've done it in Florida where it's really hot, and you've done it in California where it's hot, and then obviously you've done it in all these places where it's really cold. You've done some in Minnesota and Chicago and Detroit, Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Michigan is for the Red Wings are in Detroit, but they went to play at the University of Michigan, and they've done some in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and Boston. Obviously, the Blue Jackets outdoor game in Columbus. So it's like, now you can't really say, no, we can't do it there because, you've done it there. So if a team asks for it, don't be surprised if they eventually get one, because they've done it in so many places that where is it going to be next? Obviously, next year it'll be Utah and Texas, because the Winter Classic will be in Utah. The Stadium Series will be down in Texas where the Cowboys play. So that'll be interesting. But now I just wonder, like, okay, you did 2 in Florida. Like, what's going to be like the next big thing where you're thinking outside of the box for an outdoor hockey game? Because I get it. They're going to keep doing it because it makes sense. The obvious one is you keep sticking them in places where it's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, duh. Outdoor hockey games, cold. Duh. Makes sense. But it's going to be hard to, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, metaphorically speaking, once you have 2 hockey games out in Florida. Because then because some of these other warm weather teams are going to be like, hey, we want a hockey game. And they can't hide behind it's too hot, we can't do that. Because because you've done 2 in California and you've done 2 in Florida. You can't do that anymore. So, like, a team like Vegas, where they don't really get cold weather there. So they're probably going to be asking for it eventually. You figure the California teams are going to be asking for one eventually, because they can say, hey, we want one, and you did one in Florida and here before. You can't say, no, it's too hot. So I just, and even if, like, there's talks about that Arizona's trying to get the Coyotes to come back. Whether that works out or not, different story. But if they do come back, you bet your sweet ass that they'll find a way to say, hey, we want an outdoor hockey game in Arizona. And they will have a valid reason to say, hey, we want it, and you can't say no to a certain extent because you can't say, oh, it's too hot. You can't say that because you did it in Florida and California. So now I just kind of wonder what's next for the outdoor games. What do you do next? Where are you going to stick it after Utah and Texas? You know, I'm of the belief that if the Blue Jackets do get picked, it's probably going to be as the away team because my opinion, I think they like try and think about, okay, what's something new, what's something different that we haven't done as a new way to try and get more people to watch. And if the Blue Jackets get picked, a lot more people would probably watch and say, ooh, the Blue Jackets as the away team. That hasn't happened before. They've never gotten picked to be the away team in an outdoor game compared to if they got picked to have another home game. And you're like, yeah, it still could be good, but like it wouldn't be as good because they're like, well, they've done that before. So you wouldn't get the same feel as if, ooh, away team Blue Jackets. They've never done that before sort of thing. So kind of going on a rant here, but I just kind of wonder what's next for the outdoor game. Like, what do they do after, Utah and Texas? Like, what's that next big thing where they're thinking outside the box? Because doing games in Florida was thinking outside the box.
Yeah. One team that I cannot wait to see. Let me check my facts real quick before I start talking shit that I don't know about. When's the next one?
Oh, it's gonna be
one in Utah.
They're gonna have one in Utah next year.
I cannot wait for that. That's gonna be so cool. That's gonna be like didn't they have one in Colorado that was like really beautiful?
They've had two in Colorado.
Yeah, and they're gonna have it at the University of Utah's Rice Eccles Stadium, which has the mountain backdrop in the back. Dude, that's gonna be sick. Can't wait to see it. Some people are like, "Oh, why is Utah getting one so suddenly? Why is Utah?" Well, the Utah Mammoth are the Arizona Coyotes, so the Coyotes have never had one. So this is them, getting the bone thrown on them because especially now it's easier because they're in Utah and it's a little colder there. But especially, man, with the mountains in the background, can't wait. That's gonna be sick. It's gonna be blending hockey with a potential ski vacation, according to announcements. It's going to be against the Avalanche too. That's going to be a solid outdoor game. I'm excited for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool beans.
So.
Well, that's all I
Okay. Well, I do have this. So, Caden Lindstrom, Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom had an awesome assist to set up a goal here. So we're going to play that. Because there we go. So, Caden Lindstrom, he's going to get the puck here. It's along the boards. And what I like about this, kind of in a shooting position here, makes it look like he's going to shoot it. So, of course, Penn State sees that, and they try and get a guy on him to put a stop to that. And Caden Lindstrom sees that, and at the last moment, passes it to a guy who's going to be right here, and he's going to shoot and score. It's going to be an awesome pass.
That's slick.
And I'll pause it on the replay so you can see what. So you can see what I'm trying to get at here. So you go. It's got the puck. You got the puck, and right here. We'll back this up a little bit. We'll go back here. Okay, so we'll back this up. Okay, right here. Looks like, oh, maybe he shoots it. So then that pulls this guy over here. And then they're going to have an open spot over here. And then at the last moment, he's going to quickly pass it over for a goal. overall, pretty good play here by Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom. So, anything to say here after that?
No, pretty sick.
Okay.
Just love to see it. Love to see the prospects doing good. Because generally speaking, if you're playing that well above your peers, that will eventually, those peers will be the ones in the NHL at some point.
So I'm going to play this video. So this is another video of just the. We'll see. Probably going to see Jackson Smith in this video. But what was it like for practicing for the outdoor game on that ice? So we're going to play that video here. So you can see there's Penn State practicing on the ice. Oh, there's Jackson Smith right there. There he is practicing. So that's cool. We'll play it one more time here. So Penn State practicing here. And there's Jackson Smith, Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith practicing on the ice. Outside. Outdoor game. Pretty cool. So we'll take that. And let's see here. I'm going to check my bookmarks to see if I have anything else. Let's see here.
Dude, the Panthers are falling apart.
I know.
Side note. We could potentially see the President's Trophy winner and the Stanley Cup winner potentially not in the playoffs. What the hell?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
sorry, going through Twitter and I seen that Bob Vrosky made a huge mistake just like 2 seconds ago, and yeah, the Sabres are leading.
Another shot from the outdoor game in Tampa Bay. I think that's a real good, nice, good shot here. Pretty good seats here, so that's cool. So that is cool. And of course, you know what? We'll put this up on the screen. Of course, the Blue Jackets did a little throwback post of, different pictures from their outdoor game that they had last season. So we'll put that up on the screen here. So, of course, this is before the game when they're going out on the ice. So that was cool. Cool picture there. We got a little shot of Script Ohio, the Ohio State band, playing some music and doing Script Ohio, where they spell out the word Ohio on the ice before the game. So that's pretty cool. Ah, yes, Matthew Olivier. Matthew Olivier with an awesome goal here. One of my favorite pictures from the Blue Jackets outdoor game. Just so good. Elvis Merzlikins celebrating after the game. That was cool. National anthem and got the fireworks going off. That's cool. This is a cool picture here. I like this picture.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
We got the cannon. People not wearing shirts when it's really cold out, but yet they should wear shirts, but whatever. 21 pilots, because it was 21 pilots from Columbus and big Blue Jackets fans played at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. So here's a picture from the 21 pilots performance at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. Dang. Tyler Joseph, the person playing the guitar, damn, he really got up there. He's jumping pretty high. He can jump. He really got up there.
Yeah, I keep thinking every time I see this photo, I'm just like, where is there a harness attached to this man? That's
It's like, look at this. You got, so that's Josh Dunn is the drummer for 21 Pilots. And there he is, he's just looking, it's like the duality of this picture. Josh Dunn, the drummer, he's just sitting there looking all calm and playing the drums and everything. And then here we have Tyler Joseph playing the guitar, and he jumping up way up in the air, really getting into it, and the fire and all a bunch of other stuff. It's like, wow. Like,
pretty sick.
good picture. Let's see. Here's that. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So one last time, I'm going to check my bookmarks, and then we'll get out of here to see if I have anything else to share for the day. Ugh. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm going to say this. Detroit fans, 1 year late, almost 1 year later, still think they lost the outdoor game because of a high stick. Now, if you watch this show or you watch that game, you would know that that's not even close to being true. That's just them, being sore losers. Oh, it was a high stick. It was a high stick. No. You didn't lose because of a high stick. You lost because your defense was one of the worst defenses in hockey last season. And when you played the Blue Jackets, that's a big no-no. That's a big recipe for disaster when you're playing the Blue Jackets, because the Blue Jackets have shown the last 2 seasons that they are really good at scoring goals. If you give them that chance to score a goal, there's a good chance they're going to score that goal. And so if you're a team that sucks on defense and you're playing the Blue Jackets, guess what? There's a good chance it's not going to be a good night for you. It's just not. The Blue Jackets will score. And that's exactly what happened. Detroit's defense was god-awful that game, and it let them down. They gave up 5 goals, including a 3-goal second period. Like, when you're not going to win a game when you have a bad defense and you give up 5 goals, including a 3-goal second period. You're just not going to win that. Also, Detroit had 46 shots on goal. 46 shots on goal. They only got 3. You have 46 shots on goal, you should be getting at least 4 to 5 goals. But you only got 3. And yet, you want to focus, high stick, we lost because of high stick. No, you didn't lose because of a high stick. You lost because your defense is god-awful. Going up against a team who's really good at scoring goals like the Blue Jackets is not a good recipe for success. Another thing that the Detroit fans don't like to say, they're not telling the whole story. They never tell you this, which is, why was there a high stick? I'll tell you why there was a high stick. Because Justin Danforth, there's a puck battle. He's trying to go get the puck, and Justin Danforth gets hooked. And Justin Danforth, because he gets hooked, can't go anywhere. And he's trying to go somewhere, and he can't. And then another Detroit player bumps Justin Danforth's stick and pushes the stick up into the Detroit player's face. That's why the high stick happened. But you don't hear Detroit fans saying that. You just don't. So I just still find it interesting that Detroit fans, almost 1 year later, still think that they lost because of a high stick when they didn't. They lost because your defense was god-awful, and it let you down. You had a really bad defense, and that's not good when you play the Blue Jackets, who are really good at scoring goals. You're not going to win when you have a bad defense going up against the Blue Jackets, who are good at scoring goals, when you give up 5 goals, especially a 3-goal second period. You're just not going to win. So that's why you lose, not because of a high stick.
I don't have anything.
But that's just, how
I
it
gotta
is.
get here pretty soon, actually.
All right. Well, all right. I'll make quick. I know I've said this like 5 times, but I actually mean this. I'm going to quickly check the bookmarks to see if they have, if I have anything else to share. You know what? I do. I do have something to share. So we're going to quickly put this up on the screen, talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll say our stuff and get out of here. So, let's see. Okay, that's right. Okay, Ohio State. You need to. I'm going to put this up on the screen here. So, that's not it. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Let's try this again here. So, Ohio State had a cool giveaway against their game against Michigan, and it's a cool winter hat that has the really good. That has the really good Brutus hockey logo on it. And you could only get that hat if you were at the game. Ohio State. Listen to me. Listen to me here, Ohio State. I'll get that. So, listen to me, Ohio State. You need to sell that logo of the Brutus playing hockey. You need to put that logo on hats and shirts and jerseys and sweatshirts, and you need to sell it. You need to sell it because that is an awesome logo. That's easily my favorite Ohio State logo. It's just that good. It's Brutus, and he's the Ohio State mascot, and he's playing hockey, and I love it. So you need to be selling. Ohio State, listen to me. Please listen to me. You need to be selling this on hats and shirts and sweatshirts and a hockey jersey. Do it. I want to see it happen. Put this awesome Brutus hockey logo on hats and sweatshirts and jerseys and pucks and shirts and so much more. So do it, Ohio State. I need you to do it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
All right, then. So that's all I got for now. But anyways, Hefty Duck will say his stuff. I'll say my stuff, and then we can get out of here.
Yeah, buddy. So this has been another conclusion to our Brew Jackets podcast. Very often we always talk about live comments. If you want to leave us a comment that you want us to talk about while we're on air, check us out on YouTube. I posted the link to our YouTube earlier. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share wherever you're watching from. If you're watching from Twitter, check out our YouTube. If you're watching from YouTube, check us out on Twitter, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, we don't have any sponsors right now. So, and I don't really want any. I am the sponsor. I like to do what I want when I want, how I want to. But that being said, check out some of my work. Come get tattooed. So some of you who watch the live broadcast or are watching might notice me looking down a lot during the broadcast. So, my good old ADHD brain listens and concentrates very well when I'm doing something else. So I might start this as a thing because I do this almost every broadcast. I draw something.
Yeah.
I'm doodling. I'm just doodling and I'm listening. My teachers used to yell at me until they realized, like, oh, wait, he's listening because he got the answer right. Yeah, I'm just the way I am. Anyway, I want to show you what I drew tonight. I drew some tiger lilies for the show.
Ooh, yeah, I see it. It's a flower.
It's on tracing paper, so that's why I have to hold the white one behind it. But yeah, so we'll see what I do for next week. I'll definitely be doing some hockey themed things here and there. But check me out, Lance Schrock Tattoos, on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook and all that good shit if you really want to. That's all I got for this week. Next week, I want to talk a little bit about some trade rumors going around. As next week, we're only going to have 2 games to talk about, and then there's going to be 2 weeks without any NHL hockey. I don't know that I'm really like we'll probably bring up the Olympics here and there, but these next 2 episodes, like it'll be brought up a little bit. I don't care. Like I do care. Like I want USA to win, of course. I want Werenski to do great. I want Elvis Merzlikins to do great, but it's amazing. I can't wait for it. But that's not what our podcast is about. So we'll probably bring that up. But I do want to talk about some trade rumors because there's going to be a trade freeze coming up for this break, for the Olympic break. And that's something that it's probably how it happened before. But because, like, who wants to be out, like, overseas and, like, all of a sudden, like, you find out, oh, you've been traded. So, like, your whole family has to move while you're away or something stupid. I don't know. But yes, we are going to talk about some free agencies, people going into free agency. We got Boone Jenner, we got Good Branson, we got Charlie Coyle, Mason Marchment. So we got some people to talk about here soon. Anyway, that's all I got for this episode. Thanks for joining us. We will be back here next week on Monday again, the 9th. And yeah, be a fun time.
Yeah.
See you then.
Yeah. So as for what I do have some plans for what we're going to do for obviously not the next show, but the show after that. Because last year we did like a first half season review sort of thing, where it's like, who are the MVPs and how is this first half of the season gone, you know, stuff like that. So that's what it's going to be. It's like not next week's show, but like the show after that, where there's like no Blue Jacket stuff to talk about at all. Like that's when it's going to be. So, you know, stay tuned to that when we do a little first half MVP / first half season review of how have the Blue Jackets done in the first half of the season. So check that out, and we'll say more stuff about that as that gets closer. Anyways, so as I always do, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc, the best of the best. What a guy. So good. Elite. Top tier. The best of the best. So, you know, if you watch this show, you know that this is my Uncle Doc and a guy who I love and like very much. Such a good guy. And I wish that he was still here. But he unfortunately died in September of 2024. And I love seeing my Uncle Doc at family parties and get-togethers, like birthday parties and so much more, and holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter. And Doc was a big sports guy, you know. He liked the Cubs. I like the Reds, and, you know, we talk a little bit about that. But where we really came together and really shined is we're both big hockey people. Doc was a big Blackhawks guy, a big Blue Jackets guy, but the Blue Jackets became the second favorite team. And we'd always talk about, hey, you know, he'd share his thoughts on how he thinks the Blackhawks are doing, and I would share my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets are doing. And, you know, recently the Blue Jackets played the Blackhawks, and it's times like this, like that, where I kind of wish you're still here, because I wonder, you know, what would you think about that game? How did you think it went? You know, you tell me about how you think the Blackhawks went during that game, and I tell you my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets did during that game. And, you know, of course, the Blue Jackets also have another big game coming up against the Blackhawks this upcoming Wednesday night. So, you know, once that game is done, you know, we could talk about that, and we think how that game's going to go. But fortunately, don't get that. So, shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. I wish you're still here so I can talk some hockey with you, and you could share your thoughts on how you think the Blackhawks are doing, and I could share my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets are doing. And you're a big Union Blue Soldier supporter because you always wear that scarf, and I appreciate that. So shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc Thank you for everything.
Yeah, rest in peace, Uncle Doc.
All right. One last thing for me, as always. Don't forget to check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. We do a lot of fun stuff, like, we do marches that bring Blue Jackets fans together. We usually get about let's say 80 to 100 people, Blue Jackets fans that show up. And
Nothing big happens, and then it's like, who knows? It's crazy sometimes.
It's crazy, and it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna quickly pull up a picture here just to show you, what is it like, It's just a lot of fun, and you should totally join one of our marches that Union Blue Soldiers does, it's just a lot of fun. But so here we go. I'll put this up on the screen. So these are just some of the marches that Union Blue Soldiers has done over the years. It's for the Blue Jackets home opener, and it's a lot of fun. We get big crowds of people together to come together to cheer on the Blue Jackets, and we've been on TV from Clay Hall, ABC 6 News, and Whitney Harding, NBC4. Adam King, the last 2 times, has been there from 10 TV. Stinger's been there. People who throw the T-shirts into the crowd at Blue Jackets games have been there. The Blue Jackets have been there. The marches have been featured on the scoreboard at Blue Jackets games, and the Blue Jackets have promoted the marches aggressively all over social media. It's been in ticket commercials during Blue Jackets games and so much more. So check out the marches that Union Blue Soldiers does. It's before every Blue Jackets home opener. And if the Blue Jackets make the playoffs, I'm doing a march, and you're going to have to check it out there because this is truly the event for Blue Jackets fans that you want to go to. A great time to be with your fellow Blue Jackets fans to cheer on the Blue Jackets. So check out the marches that Union Blue Soldiers does before every Blue Jackets home opener and if the Blue Jackets make the playoffs. So check that out. And one last time, check out Union Blue Soldiers. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. So that's it for me. Hefty Duck and I have said our things, and we're going to get out of here. See you next time.
See y'all. Have a good week.